Yo, 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 it's your boy Mo.
It's Brandon. What's going on with y'all?
Yeah, Brandon is back. It's episode 44, No Better, Do Better. Sorry for the wait. It's been a wild summer.
Summer. It's been a lot. It's been a crazy March till August.
Yeah, you got that right. Man, so much to talk about and so little time.
Definitely. So how you been holding up, bro?
I've been good. I had a couple health issues. Not hell, I don't say health issues. Like I was on my dying bed and stuff. But I had some stuff I had to get taken care of. Had a hernia and ended up with pneumonia. Nowadays, you sniffle or you cough, everybody think you got the Rona.
Yeah.
So I had to go through that. But other than that, man, I'm back. We went back to work and trying to tread water through all this craziness and just trying to make do, trying to stay busy as I can get.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay, you already get right into it.
Let's jump into it now. What are your thoughts? How scared were you regarding coronavirus?
There were stages.
Me too.
When it first popped off back in early March, I was just kind of like, we're just hunkering down for precautions and things like that. And to be honest, I was still kind of reeling from the whole death of Kobe. Before I even go any further, shout out to Kobe Bryant. His birthday was yesterday. Today's Monday, the 24th. Yesterday was Kobe's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Kobe.
That still seems unreal.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So I was still kind of reeling from that whole situation. And I'm just all right. We're gonna hunker down for a couple of weeks, until this blows over. The conspiracy theorists in me thought, it's just some stuff to kind of keep us in the house and keep us at bay. But then, you start seeing the stories, reading about, the shortage of respirators, people dying, and then it just wasn't. I don't want to put a value on anybody's life, but you start seeing famous people that are dying from the coronavirus. In my eyes, they have money, they have resources and things like that. When they're dying, that means okay, it's hitting everybody. There's not no target, no rhyme or no reason. So once I started to realize that, then I was kind of like, all right, well, I'm ready to hunker down for the long haul. But then you kind of get, I don't want to say cabin fever because, I'm kind of an introvert. I don't mind staying at home, but at the same time, we got families to feed, we got money to make, and so, the money was disappearing, but, we still had to be in the house. So it's kind of like I wanted to get out so I could try to make some money and do what I have to do. But at the same time, this thing is real. And then, it hit a few people in my family. So that hit home. They made it through. But still, when it hits closer to home, you take it more seriously. And then now it's kind of like, here I am, I'm back to work. I'm trying to be as safe as I can, social distancing, but I work in the public, so it's kind of hard to do that. I go get COVID tests often, very often, just to make sure I'm safe and the people I deal with at work are safe. So now it's kind of like, I'm not as tense as I once was, but the tension is still there. It's still thick, but it's like we have to make do right now.
Yeah, I feel like it hit me in stages too, because I remember in March. Matter of fact, that same week the school shut down, I was planning the first happy hour at my work.
So, the job happy hour.
Yeah, so I was just like, whoa. But the guy I work with, his wife works in the district office. She's a mover and shaker. So I was like, man, is this serious? They was like, I don't know. I'll let you know. And that Friday they shut everything down.
Yeah.
And they was like, y'all not going back to school until April. So I'm just laughing it off like, this is crazy. Then I started reading more into it. And I was like, whoa, there's a lot of people with this. And then at that point in time, around March or April, New York City turned into I Am Legend.
Yes.
When jokers were just dying, thousands at a time, and they run out of space in hospitals, and they setting up tents in the middle of Central Park, and I'm like, I'm watching the news, I'm like, what the devil?
And they were using like refrigerated warehouses for the dead bodies because the funeral homes couldn't hold the capacity of the people that were dying.
So I'm like, what the devil? But I went through the whole situation too. Like, man, hold on, is this conspiracy? Like, who's dying, and why are they dying, and are kids gonna die, and things like that? But ultimately, if I'm being honest with you, I think because right tail end of February, my oldest son Caden he was sick for like 2 weeks, and with no energy at all, and I'm like, whoa, God. He just he wasn't himself for like 2 weeks. In my head, I'm like, man, I think he had the Rona. So from there, and then other family members had a family member pass away, and I'm like,
yeah, well, we talked about that.
Yeah.
How we kind of assume, well, not assume, but when we get all the facts and try to put all the pieces together, that's probably how they passed.
Yeah. So I'm just like, man, and I was around it, so I'm saying to myself like, man, I don't know.
If you recall, one of her cousins was around it as well. She got real sick. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl party.
Oh yeah,
Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
She got really sick to the point where she was out for almost like a month. She couldn't get right. And like I said, when you put all those pieces together, it's like, yo.
And that too. So it's there are times in which I'm just like, man, this is some bullshit. And then other times I'm like, whoa, because I just heard one of my friends and his wife had it.
Right.
And then early in the game, our guy I used to work with, he was on Facebook saying that, yeah, we tested positive and is asymptomatic. So it's just like up in the air.
Right.
Up in the air.
Like
So
I had a coworker, he had to quarantine because his lady friend who works in the medical field, she was applying for a new gig. And she had to go through all the protocol, and she got tested for COVID, not even knowing she had it. She was just going through the protocol, to get another job at, another hospital or whatnot. And she tested positive, and she didn't know. Like, so if she never applied for another job, she probably would have never known she had it.
Ooh.
So, he had to hunker down and, get tested. And I mean, he came back negative, but, just that whole week or so, just with your mind in limbo, not knowing if you have it or if you don't have, it works on you. And then, I mean, we're not even talking about the things surrounding being quarantined.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, a lot of people's relationships are being put to the test right now, as well as a lot of people's finances.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got kids now. It's like, this is the summer. This is when the kids get to go out and enjoy themselves and have some free time, space, and air. None of that.
None of that at all.
None of that. Like, you got to find more. We got to be creative on how we entertain each other, or, take our families out and do things like that. Like, we took the kids out a few weeks ago to a private beach, but even that is still tense in a sense, just, but it's like, it's vital that we get out, get air, get some activity, going, like I see a lot of people that I seen in February, I see them now, they 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
So I mean, physically, it man, all around the board, it affects everything.
When I go to the gym and I'm like stepping on the scale, I'm like, whew, man, this could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse. And just people just not doing. There's some people who's not doing well.
People are not doing well. Like, and even like I have not a soft spot, but I always wonder about the people with I don't even say mental disorders, but people that emotionally have some issues like this, compounded on whatever what they the existing issues that they have. Like, man, it can drive you over the edge.
Yeah, because honestly, like, man, if a person is mentally ill, or just not really mentally ill, but just goes to see their counselor,
just unstable in a sense, just a little,
they go to see their counselor like once a week. What if they don't have a phone? What if they don't have internet connection?
Right.
So how are they going to get
that? Well, the government did give internet connections and things of that nature, but I mean, still, I'm just talking about the guy that works the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Who, even if he has a therapist or a counselor, things like that, it's still a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you still got kids, you got bills, just everything on top of everything. It's just like, it's a lot. It is a lot.
But I also think like it also lets you know where you are in your relationships.
Yeah. Right.
Because if
I mean, when I say, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
yeah.
But when you say relationships, all relationships, relationships with your family, relationships with
Yeah.
your significant other, the relationships with your kids.
Yeah.
You might not.
That's
you
it.
might think you know your kids,
But
now you got all this time around them. You like, hey man, I really don't know.
I don't know Junior.
I don't know Junior like I thought I did. You
And
know,
then-
and it could be a good thing. Like it could you can and I hope and if you haven't, take the moment to try to turn a negative into a positive. Bond more so with with your kids more than you ever have.
Yeah.
Talk to them and
Sports was down.
Yeah, I mean the sports. I mean, even got into sports, man. That in a sense was a lot to deal with, just because there was no content on television.
Not at
Period.
all. We ran through.
Man,
Netflix.
Man, Netflix was done in a month.
Yeah.
I watched Tiger King. I said, this is gonna look. People don't even remember Tiger King. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, that does seem like such a long time ago. Like
I said, this is gonna be the documentary of the pandemic.
Let me ask you.
That's how long I thought it was gonna last. I said it's gonna last a couple of weeks, and everybody's gonna be talking about Tiger King. Man, it's been how long now?
Almost 5.5 months.
Yeah, man, people have forgot about Tiger King.
That is true. It seemed like such man. But then I was thinking, there's a lot of things we gave our attention to that we usually would. We wouldn't be watching no goddamn Tiger King.
No, man, I've been watching Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition, and you know how I feel about ratchet reality TV.
Will Waka Flocka in them?
No, not this one. This one got Corrupt, Vado, Tahiri.
God.
What's the girl from Housewives of Atlanta? Phaedra.
Oh, I thought you meant Candy.
Phaedra. It's got a few other cats in there.
But when you think about like entertainment, this 5.5 months of just shutdown and lockdown is going to have great effect on entertainment, because movie houses are down.
Movie houses are down. The summer is where they thrive.
Yeah, because everybody,
we were supposed to be seeing a new Fast and Furious movie.
The blockbusters.
All the blockbuster movies, they all got pushed back.
Because Will Smith used to drop summer movie like he dropped. Yeah,
he was the king of the summer.
And that's crazy.
I mean, now The Rock is the king of all movies. I'm quite sure he was working, him and Kevin Hart working on a whole lot of movies. They either got pushed back or they got put on the slab. Put on ice. Man, I mean, yeah, entertainment wise, I've seen a lot of movies I felt got pushed to Netflix or rushed to Netflix, because I've seen some movies and I'm like, that could have been done better. But then I think about it, I'm like, it probably would have been done better, but they just had to get it out.
Yeah, get that out.
Get it out so they can get a few dollars. Just so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Like, because now you can't make a movie right now.
No. With all the safety protocols and guidelines, it'd be tough. Like, we watch movies and think, oh yeah, it's a movie. It only has about 6 main characters, but man, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people that
Extras,
are employed,
and,
that are behind the scenes doing this stuff, and it's just so hard to just make sure everybody is safe.
So what's going to take its place though? Because God knows, like, at some point in time, it's going to run out of
bubbles. It's gonna
it's gonna run out.
Like, I say the bubble. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the bubble is where you kind of build a community that's sanitary and sterile, and you pretty much live within this bubble, the community, and you constantly get tested. The NBA has tried it and successfully thrived with this bubble.
Yeah.
They got all the players, all the referees, the media, everybody they needed in this bubble. They have in the bubble. They test 2 to 3 times a day. If you have to leave, you have to quarantine yourself. And upon returning to the bubble, you get tested again. And they've had no positive tests since.
Yeah.
And so I think for things like movies and TV shows, they're going to have to live in a bubble. Probably for a month before they even start recording and taping and things like that. Other sports entities don't have those resources, because the NBA is probably the smallest of the league. They're very popular. They make a lot of money, but if you look at a basketball team, they're 15 players, maybe 10 extra people with coaches and staff and things of that nature. So they're able to keep them, in confine. Where as you deal with a football team, you're dealing with 53 men, and we're not talking coaches, we're not talking trainers, and things of that nature. And they're still trying to travel from city to city to city. They didn't condense everything in one local location. So, the chances of the coronavirus being contracted and spreading is a lot higher. Baseball right now is currently playing, and they're in the midst of postponing and canceling games, playing double headers, because people are constantly getting infected. So, it's going to be tough moving forward. But I believe if you can make it happen, you got to use the bubbles. Like college sports, they're canceled till the spring, and who knows when the spring comes if we're still not battling with this. So it's a lot.
Because a lot of things are contingent on us getting better. Because ultimately, right around September, October, November, that's flu season.
Right. So now you don't know if you have the corona flu or the common flu.
Yeah. So that could be crazy.
So it's not a good combination.
It touches on a lot of things because ultimately, we talk stand-up comedy has been shut down for a while.
Yeah, well, I think they'll be all right in a sense.
You think so?
I think they're just gonna have to try to get their money through streaming. I mean, I know like going on tour is kind of how you get your money and how you learn. You get your chops. Like if you're not privy to stand-up comedy. I know you see Kevin Hart and he does a big stand-up show or a big stand-up movie, but how that comes about is they go from city to city to city doing small clubs, working on their material. Yeah. Now that hurts the craft, and it also hurts their pockets because they go and they do get paid every time they go to these cities, but now they just have to rely on the Netflix special or the HBO special or whatever kind of special they're doing, but as far as the crowd participation, like Dave Chappelle had a small, I don't even want to call it stand-up. It was more just kind of
social commentary
PSA, and it was social distance out in the middle of a field in Ohio somewhere. And I mean, he pulled it off, but I mean, he's Dave Chappelle. He has the resources to pull that off. Not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
So things like, everything is just struggling. Everything's struggling. And then, here we are. It's August. And guess what? Kids go back to school next week. Now, I have a daughter who's already in school. She's remotely in school. She's in second grade, and they're talking, we're going to do this till October. And, me and her mother both are like, yeah, right. Because when October comes, you're going to say, oh, we're going to do it in January. So it's just a lot. And then how do you teach kids remotely like that? Yeah. Like, it's cool when the school year is 3/4 of the way finished. The kids pretty much know their grades. You already know if your kids are going to fail or going to pass. So you kind of just, keep them busy until the end of the school year. But now we got a whole school year that the kids have to learn, teachers have to teach, and parents have to pretty much be the bridge. But how do you do that? How do you do that? Like for the kids with learning disabilities. What about the autistic kids that need a little more TLC? Yeah. And they're at home. And the parents may not necessarily have the tools to give them that TLC.
And they work,
they work full time. Like I said, it's a rat race because we still have to work, we still have to make a living. We haven't even touched on. There's people out there who aren't back to work because of this. Yeah. And they're giving out unemployment, but unemployment is so backed up. There's some people that haven't gotten one check from unemployment yet.
Whoa.
They filed way back when they were supposed to file, but the backlog is so far and beyond that they haven't received one check.
No.
So like, how are they doing? That's what I'm saying. When I say mentally, it's draining. Physically, it's draining. There's people out here starving, literally. Sheesh. There's people out here literally starving because they haven't gotten a check from whether it's the government now. Yeah, they got a stimulus check, but most people didn't think this was going to last too long, so they probably paid a couple of bills if they could. Now what? They're still waiting on unemployment checks. If they're getting unemployment checks, they haven't gotten their back weeks from the weeks they first filed. So
It took them a while to get you.
Hey, they did. It took a hot minute.
Sheesh.
It took them a hot minute. You know, I got lucky. I'm jack of all trades, master of many. So I figured out a way to navigate until and I'm still playing catch up. Let's call it what it is. Like ain't shit gravy over here, but trying to make do. But it's a lot of people in a worse spot than me. So when I do get a little disgruntled or a little upset, I think about cats that probably ain't got a check yet.
And I have a whole family.
Got a whole family.
Sheesh.
You know what I mean? So
that's really tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
Yeah, it is tough. But back to the school. Like you work in the school districts.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm not gonna say because every school's doing everything a little bit different. But as far as your school district or your school, what are they doing right now to prepare for the school year?
Basically, we're giving out Chromebooks. We're giving out Chromebooks soon, and what we're doing is delivering content through an online platform.
Okay.
And basically, kids are going to have like a regular schedule. What we're working on is like they're going to have their reading, writing, and math. But the other subjects, we don't know whether
like the electives and things like that.
Because ultimately, like bro, like when you really think about it, is it really feasible for a parent to have their kid sit at a Chromebook for 7 hours?
No.
Like I don't like.
I mean, adults have had that conversation about working in a cubicle in front of a computer screen for 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day.
And we talking about doing that for 6 weeks.
We're doing at least
6 weeks. 30.
Like most of us, we say 6 weeks, but most of us, we pretty much got our mindset that this is probably going to be at least to the new year.
Yeah. So it's going to put a lot of strain on some people. I mean, by the grace of God, my kids are of age. But I couldn't imagine having like a first grader, second grader.
I got a second grader. And I asked her, I said, how's your first day of school?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, it's so tiring.
Just sitting in one spot. Man, that's tough. Like,
like kids have short attention spans. Like, when you get a, preteen or teenager, they should be learning how to sit still and, grasp what you're trying to tell them and things of that nature. But when you got 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds,
man, bro, and then when you think about you at home,
and those are the good kids.
Yeah.
What about the badass kids that can't sit still when they're in class?
You're at home, you're at home, and there's all kind of distractions. You got the TV on, cause your mom ain't gonna, or whoever home with you ain't gonna turn the TV on.
No, she's gonna keep watching The Price is Right.
Yeah. And man, but the alternative. I don't know if the alternative is better.
I don't really think there is an alternative. Like, anything else is just pretty much putting your kids at risk, putting the whole household at risk of getting sick and things of that nature. Well, I'm lost. It has to be talked about because it's happening. I don't really like talking about it too much because it's like beating a dead horse. The last couple episodes I had, we did our social distancing and we did an episode about the social injustice and things of that nature. In the midst of the pandemic, and here we are. It's like the perfect storm, or the imperfect storm. You have this crazy flu. You got people dying at the hands of police who are supposed to serve and protect, and we have the Black Lives Matter movement, which is a great movement, but I feel like it was stymied because of our social distancing. Like, I feel like our protests probably would have been stronger. I feel like our protests would have been out there longer. And I know it's people still out there protesting, but trust me, it's slowed down a lot. And then here we are again. There's a gentleman that gets shot in the back by the police.
Yeah.
Walking to his car with his kids in the car. And this happened days ago. So it's like, nobody's learning nothing.
No.
In the midst of like all this craziness, it's like
it's just a lot. It's a lot going on. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to digest.
It's a very wild summer, man.
And then on top of what's going to happen in November, and whatever happens is it's gonna be
crazy.
It's gonna be bedlam everywhere.
Yeah, it don't matter who's in office. It's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be bedlam everywhere.
I mean, you got a president shutting down mailboxes.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to rig the election for mail-in ballots. You know, you got a cat. You know, for the Democratic Party that, you know, nobody really. Nobody's in love with him.
I just know some things.
You know, nobody's in love with him. You know, if you're listening to the podcast, we're based out of Delaware, so, you know, Joe Biden was our senator forever and a day, so, you know, we know more about Joe than maybe you do. You know,
I just know some things.
Thank you for listening to the Know Better, Do Better podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at No Podcast Crew. Follow us on Instagram at Know Better, Do Better podcast, and also on Facebook, Know Better, Do Better podcast.
Ultimately, with this corona situation, and just what I've been really thinking about, like, bro, you can't depend on the government.
No,
you can't.
No,
you can't, because ultimately, this is, and I don't want to get political, but ultimately, this is just a fact. Within these past 5.5 months, the government has found billions of dollars
that they said they never had.
So in my head, I'm just like, okay. Because one thing that you got the Flint situation still bad.
How about that? But they've been talking about Flint's bad water for what, 10 years?
Man.
And it was bad 10 years before that.
So in my head, I'm just like, holy crap! The government just came up with $6 billion. Trillion.
Whoa, with a T. Because this whole stimulus package with the unemployment,
it was
$3 trillion.
Yeah, it was.
They just gave the post office $25 billion to help rectify what the president tried to do with these mail-in ballots and stuff.
Like, so, you cannot, and I'm not one of these conspiracies. I'm not one of these guys who bunker and stuff like that. That's not me. I just know what it is. Like, you can't depend on the government.
Yeah, whether they have it or not, you can't depend on them because you're not going to get it.
You're not going. Yeah, no, you're not going to get it. You're not. So ultimately, I feel like if people would understand it, like, you're living life without a safety net.
Yeah.
So you got make your decisions accordingly.
Now we have to. I feel like we as a people, not only just black people, we as a people have to depend on each other. Like, you know, this Black Lives Matter movement really brought to light how we should be empowering one another to be better and be stronger. You know, that's kind of what the podcast is about, is just kind of make yourself a better you. But you know, like I've seen on Facebook and Instagram where there's a lot of groups being cultivated about, you know, promoting black businesses. You know, there's a lot of black businesses out there.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah. Hold on, before you start. Shout out to I don't even know who administrates the Black Dollars Matters group on Facebook, but shout out to them. You know, a lot of people tagged my my podcast, and I got a whole gazillion bunch of listens and downloads. Appreciate y'all, love y'all, and that's what I mean. It's just like there's things out there that we might not even know about that I feel like if we have our own tight knit, just the word I'm looking for, infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Then when shit like this happens or the government ain't trying to give us, we can rely on each other to kind of not bail each other out, but at least tread water.
I think because this is what I've been really thinking about. I think sometimes we cut our nose off to spite our face. If you say, if I have a product and I make toothpicks, I don't know, and it's a black owned business, and I said, look, I'm only going to sell to black people, I feel as though I'm only going to do business with other black folks. I feel like I think.
But here's the thing.
Life is about connections.
I'm not saying, and that's why I said not just black people. I feel like we should just kind of help one another, and then it's tough with, you know, white people sometimes because, you know, racism exists.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, you know, that's why I said, you know, we should all be helping each other. But as far as blacks are concerned, like, you know, like if you got a black business, I'm not turning down a white dollar.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just in case you didn't know, my brother or my sister, I'm here.
I get it.
You know, I'm here and I have what you need. Yeah. Just in case you didn't know, You know, so why not put the dollar in my pocket? Now, if I don't do an adequate job or you don't like my product, fine. But I just want you to know the option is here.
I got you. And
So
it's just like FUBU, like for us, by us. Like,
yeah,
hey, this is I'm gearing my product to you.
yeah,
I feel you. I
right.
feel you, but ultimately, I feel as though we need to do. I don't want to do sweeping generalization. I think that sometimes we have to find connections outside of the culture.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely.
to throw us further.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly why I said, I'm not just trying to,
Yeah.
put it in a compartment of just black folks, but because we all need each other to move a little bit forward, or get a different perspective on things. So and that's just how it works. But I feel like just with black people, sometimes crabs in a barrel type of mentality. Like if you're not doing it, then screw the person that is doing it. Either whether it's jealousy or just whatever. We got to get that out of our heads. But that's been deep seated for generations for a whole lot of other reasons we can get into. But yeah, but back to your initial statement. Yeah, don't rely on the government to be giving you handouts. I mean, when they give them out, take them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like it always comes with strings.
It's gonna come back. You're gonna have strings regardless. They don't get you one way, they get you another. So
Yeah,
I mean, and at this point, beggars can't be choosers. Like I said, there's people out there ain't got no check.
Yeah, that's
So, you know what I mean? Like they put you in a situation where you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like I'm fortunate enough, to be self-employed and work for myself. And the job I'm supposed to have is supposed to be recession-proof. But we didn't know nothing about pandemics.
Yeah.
Like even when they were talking about the flu, I'm like, man, we good. I'm cutting this hair. Like I feel bad for the people that can't go to work. And then the next week, the governor says, stay home.
Stay home.
Until I say otherwise. I'm like, well, damn. And I'm the type, if nobody walks in my door, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting unemployed. Like self-employed general contractors don't get unemployment. So I mean, the fact that the government made an exception for that, I'm happy for that, because otherwise, yeah, I'd be drowning.
Yeah. And maybe I don't know, because I try to stay away from news and stuff like that, but that's a sad situation. That's a sad, especially like when things first hit. I was still delivering food through the school district I worked for, and I will have to go to, or I will go to these like COVID positive households, and it would be whole families in there, and I'm just like, jeez. And I just got this food to drop off, and it was just sad, just to see, because these are like hardworking people,
yeah,
but they couldn't go to work. So, man,
easy with that cough, man.
No, I just got my I got my negative, so I'm good.
Yeah, I gotta get tested this week as well. But last week I was negative. Like I said, I try to get tested as often as I can, and you should too. Whoever's out there listening, there's testing sites at schools and your local drugstores and pharmacies. Like, go get tested. Don't be in limbo. If you have doubt or you feel like you've been around some things you shouldn't have been around, just go get tested. Just have peace of mind knowing that you are all right. And if you're not all right, then you probably have to go quarantine and get it out of your system. Get yourself together, because that's the only way it gets better. So man, well, I mean this summer was a wash.
Yeah.
It was pretty much a wash. And I did a couple of little things, within the confines of the quarantine. I ain't gonna lie, I did a lot of drinking.
Yeah.
I did a lot of drinking. Not like depressed drinking, but there was nothing to do. It wasn't like I had to get up and go to work the next morning. A lot of drinking. If you know me, I keep the cigars. A lot of cigar smoking. I bought a karaoke machine because I couldn't go to karaoke.
Yeah.
So
What is one thing that you miss the most?
I'm a foodie, so I like going out to the restaurants.
Yeah.
And even now with some of the restaurants being open, whether it's dine-in or outside dining, it's not the same, just because of the social distance, and us living so close to a lot of different major cities. Like Delaware, our numbers are a lot lower than others because we're a small state. So we go to Philadelphia or something like that, Pennsylvania is still kind of on the high end of numbers. So their protocols are a little different.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that are still shut down. You can't really go sightsee the way you like to go.
Yeah, cause me and my girl went to we went to Philly a couple weeks ago.
It was on the hunt for the cheesesteaks, right?
Yeah, we went to cheesesteak crawl. Tony Luke's is the best, by the way. But anyway,
you didn't like the.
I didn't like Gino's.
What about the roast pork place?
We went there, and they said you had to call in.
So you didn't get the chance to get.
We didn't get the chance.
They got the best cheesesteaks from what I hear.
Really?
I hear they have like this pork sandwich that they're famous for, but their cheesesteaks are.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So.
Man, I like Tony Luke's a lot. Matter of fact, I was thinking about going up there this weekend. Matter of fact,
Let me know.
give me a cheesesteak or two and chill out. But one of the things, like when you there and you buy alcohol, you also have to buy food.
Right. Because they can't really just give you alcohol to give you alcohol. They kind of have to package it together.
And it's just weird because usually it's like you can't just walk around with alcohol, but now they're like, here, take it.
Because now it's all about everybody's trying to get $1.
Yeah.
And like the state makes money off of alcohol. The proprietors of the business make money off of alcohol. So it's kind of like we'll make this exception.
I mean, don't get it twisted. People are still out there.
Oh, they out there, yeah.
Cause I was delivering for Amazon, and I was late with my packages because everybody was like in the street.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what makes me leery about going out. Like, I see people out there with their mask on. I see people out there social distancing. Those are the people I'm not worried about. It's the ones I see that are out like nothing's going on. Bro. They ain't got no mask on.
Bro.
They trying to be in your personal space. It's like, yo, back up.
And bro, like I feel like it's not really a setup, but people are not being smart about the way they move. Like I saw pictures of Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm just like, and my girl, one of her best friend did like a road trip, and he said like everything was straight until he went to Atlanta, and no one people just walk around.
Yeah, they don't even have masks.
I was like, holy! And then they showed pictures of like out in California, it was like a mansion party, and just like had to be like 300, 400 people, people. And I'm just like, holy shit! Like this is crazy.
Right.
I don't know, but it's not like I don't know. During this whole pandemic, I was thinking like, man, this is gonna be something small. Like I can fight it. But then I hear stories about people like who was healthy as an ox and couldn't breathe and put on ventilators, and they like. Then I heard my boy Michael Cho on Joe Rogan podcast. He was talking about it was the most terrifying experience of his whole entire life, and I'm just like, hold on, wait. And just think, like I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I beat it, but I pass it on to my 70-year-old mom.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, that was my thing. Like when we were hunkered down in quarantine, I was getting phone because if you don't know, I'm a barber. So I was getting phone calls constantly about can you make a house call? Can you make a house call? And as bad, and I mean as bad as I needed the money, I was like nah, because if I bring that home to my kids, and my loved ones, like I wouldn't, I couldn't forgive myself. Yeah, especially if it went totally wrong.
There were some barbers who died though.
Yeah,
and I was like
just one false move can affect your whole house. And at that time, we didn't know if it was killing you instantly. We didn't know if you could beat it or we still halfway don't know for sure.
Yeah, there's no definites.
There's no definites.
And we 5.5 months in, there's no definites. Like, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, only thing to tell you is mask up.
Yeah.
Stay 6 feet apart.
Just side note from y'all for y'all Philly fans. Brett Brown just got fired. My group text is going crazy.
Yeah, about time. It's about time. Now they talking about bring Jay Wright up.
Jay Wright from Villanova. I heard Juwan Howard's getting a lot of looks. He's coaching Michigan.
He just got that job. Like
I know, but he got them boys winning. So you got to go with the hot young coach. Pause. No, I don't mean hot in an attractive way. I mean it's production.
That's tough. So hold quickly. Tell the truth. How many people do you know in the upcoming NBA draft?
3.
Anyway,
I know the Wiseman kid.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to go to Kentucky, ended up going to Memphis. and he never played.
Yeah.
And then I know the Edwards boy from Georgia. I'm on 4 players. The Edwards boy from Georgia.
He getting a lot of pub.
He's very solid. He's a very solid player.
Mello.
I know LaMelo just because he's the ball boy. He's been playing since he was 10.
Yeah.
And then there's the boy he played at Dayton. What's his name? Toppin?
Yeah.
He's a scorer. I don't know if he can do much else, but he can put the ball in the bucket.
So it's 4.
It's 4 people I know.
Yeah. But because I saw like everybody was like, oh my god.
But I'll tell you this. I don't watch college basketball until March Madness, and we didn't have March Madness this year.
You're right.
We didn't get a chance to have March Madness where I can really hone in on
who's
who, and I'm a Kentucky fan, so I always keep an eye out for what they do. But outside of Kentucky basketball, I really hadn't had a chance to dissect to see who's this and who's doing what. So yeah, it's a coin toss. I don't know who's doing what in college basketball.
Me either. So that's what it is. But anyway, sorry to veer off. But how do you? Like, what's the? I've been really thinking about this. Like, how do we go back to normal?
Man,
like what is the play?
Man, look, out there in Asia, they literally shut everything down, almost to the point where they had people at gunpoint at their house, like, don't you dare come out of this house.
Yeah. And
they are back to normal.
Yeah.
Their cases are nil, and they're back to normal. Like, I heard Joe Biden, that's probably the only thing I heard Joe Biden said that made sense. He's like, man, we got to shut down. We have to shut all the way down. Whatever it costs, make it happen, but we got to shut down to make sure this virus goes away. Because what's going to happen is our American arrogance, is not going to, it's not going to let us quarantine unless we're forced to. And then what's going to happen is they're going to come up with this janky ass vaccine that people either won't want to take or people ain't going to want to take. And we're still right back at where we are. Because the people that don't want to take it still might be getting affected. The people that want to take it might be getting a bad drug. Like, and it's going to open up Pandora's box for a whole other set of problems.
I ain't trusting the vaccine. Like, bro, they've been like, they've had sicknesses and illnesses out here forever. And they're going to make a vaccine in 5.5 months?
And listen to this.
Somebody lying.
And like I said, the conspiracy theorists, to me, it's like they always try to divert your attention while something else is going on. Kim Jong-un's in a coma, from what I understand.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. I saw it in a meme, and I thought it was a joke until I did the research. He's really in a coma. Because the meme said, I bet his sister got all the codes to those nuclear bombs. So, with that being said, and also, 5 people in California got diagnosed with the plague.
That's crazy.
Who gets the plague anymore?
That's crazy.
So it's like,
I'm not trusting, I'm not trusting these people, bro. I'm not trusting.
So, moving forward, I mean, like,
so you think that we have to shut back down?
I feel like that's our best bet. I'm not saying, I'm right or, whatever, but I feel like we really have to we have to have a real surefire effort from everybody to shut down. The only people that should be working is cops and health workers.
Man, bro, they not going for that, bro.
I know, but I feel like that's what has to happen.
People, they not going for that.
To at least give us a shot. You know what I mean?
Nah, bro, they not going for that.
I know they're not. That's why we still gonna be the only country in the world still dealing with coronavirus.
Bro, but people no, they mad as firecrackers because they not having youth sports. I know,
but I'm like, you're like, youth sports. That's what you worried about?
Great point.
Like,
I try to stay on the fence, but in my head I'm just like, bro, like, I can understand. Okay, if you're a junior, rising junior, or you're rising senior, whether it's high school or college, I get it.
This is your chance. This is your chance to either go to a good school for free, and do some things. This is the beginning of your life or your career. I understand that, but man, I'm talking about this cat's mad about Pee Wee football.
Yeah.
I'm like, Nick, what?
Yeah.
Really? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's cats out here dying.
Yeah.
This cat's out here dying from disease. This cat's out here dying from the cops, and you worrying about pee-wee football?
Yeah.
You worrying about your 8-year-old son getting out there on that field? Nah.
Yeah.
Like
I mean
that just tells me a lot about that person.
That's what I'm sitting on.
I'm sorry if you're listening to this and it sounds familiar. Then it's probably you.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't understand the logic with that. Like, okay, you have a full fall to really hang out with your kids.
Yeah, that's what I said. Turn this negative out into a positive, man. Like bond with your kids. Find new and creative ways to do things with
To
your
connect.
family.
Like,
Connect.
I just didn't understand it because my son wasn't going to play anyway.
Right.
So it's no laws or anything like that. But in my head, I'm just like, there are people who are really upset. And in my head, I'm just like, yo, what?
There are bigger fish to fry out here in these streets.
That too. Like, there's families out here who are have suffered loss through the COVID-19 pandemic. So when I see, I feel, I don't know, it just feels tone deaf. Like, I get it. If you are a senior in college or a senior in high school, I get it. You're upset. It's messed up. But for everybody else, I'm looking at y'all funny.
Yeah. I feel the same way too. Like, I can understand, like, this could be your break to get into college. Like, some people absolutely need sports to get into college. If it wasn't for sports, they probably wouldn't even have to be looking at college. I understand that. For the cats that's in college, they, aspiring to go pro, this is your shot. I understand that. This is the way you can make a living, make millions, take care of you and your family for generations. I understand that. But for that kid that's 8, 9 years old, dog, he got brighter days ahead. He ain't got to worry about today.
Yeah.
Like, his day is gonna come. Like,
but you know what the message should be? Tomorrow's not promised.
That too. That
tomorrow, like, bro, you waiting for your senior year the ball? No. Tomorrow doesn't exist when it comes to, like, sports as well as everything else.
Good point.
You got to put your best foot forward.
Good point. Man. So what do you have coming up within the next month or two? With all this COVID, with everything going on, what do you have in your mind to do to either stay productive?
Man, I have to. Well, I get it both in both ways, because not only do I work in a school, but I have 2 school-age kids. So therefore, I'm just trying to support as many families and teachers dealing with the COVID-19, as well as be supportive to my own kids.
Right.
Just to get them acclimated to a new school, because they're moving to Appoquinimink School District, and I'm looking at emails that they should be receiving their own iPads.
Okay.
So just make sure that they're on top of that, because I don't need none of my kids falling behind.
Right. Now, what are you doing as far as outside of the whole school or work, or like, what are you doing as far as your leisure time to try to stay sane?
I'm still chasing this consistency, like when it comes to, like, healthy living and healthy eating and exercising each and every day.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough, you know what I mean? Me kissing 40 right now, like, it's like, if I'm at a certain age where if I let things go too quickly, then I'm taking needles.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm taking needles. So, and just I mean, we can do a podcast about just health and wellness, because ultimately your body is changing.
Yeah, I got some things, in the making. I'm just trying to find the right guest.
Yeah, like
guest plural. To bring on, so it's not just me and you, or me and Pools, or me and Miss Love talking about it, or giving our own opinions. I want somebody that's certified, or somebody qualified to either speak on it, or clear our minds on what we should be doing, especially in our age bracket. 'Cause like you said, we one or two false moves from being on some type of medication or some things of that nature. So yeah, that's definitely on the horizon that I have, podcast wise. Let me see what I got going on. I'm constantly talking to my daughter, especially my oldest daughter. She's 12.
Yeah.
That preteen age. So I'm just trying to instill in her, just stay focused. I understand that this time is trying, and she's a social butterfly. So the fact that she's probably not in school, that kind of puts a wrinkle in her plan a little bit. But I'm just trying to get her to stay focused. because like I said, it's hard. These kids are gonna be sitting in front of a computer all doggone day. So I'm just trying to bond with her, and let her know, like, you got any issues, talk to mom, talk to dad. We got you, but speak up.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to talk to her. Yeah. My youngest, she loves school, so it's just the fact it's just kind of a long day for her, but she likes it. Leisurely, I would love to get out to these restaurants, Like I said, my money ain't all the way back, so it's, I can't go out and.
I'm still looking for a local live music venue.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like I want like a little,
like a jazz lounge or something
like that, where like unsigned artists can come out there and just.
I mean, you can Google stuff like that.
I've tried.
Well, I mean, it might be different now because of the climate. Yeah,
I get
the climate that we're in now, but
you know what's crazy? Like I didn't realize I like cover bands. Yeah,
cover bands are cool.
My girl took me to a place in Elton, and I'm like, hold on, goddamn. I'm like, what the? And we were sitting there eating some tuna, and it was good.
Tuna.
And the guy,
please let them know you eating some real tuna.
Yeah, not real.
Just say tuna like it's like
real tuna.
Yeah, not chicken of the sea.
Nah, it was real tuna.
Okay.
And the band was playing Hotel California. I was like, yeah. I was loving it. So I'm looking for a nice little live music venue.
Yeah, I'm just looking to do different things. Like I said, I'm a foodie, so I like trying different cuisines. Anything that isn't too taxing, that doesn't have a whole lot of people. I'm just trying to navigate through this whole situation. I would love to go see a show, but I know that ain't gonna happen.
Nah.
I had a couple of friends of ours. They were supposed to go see the Janet Jackson concert this summer.
I heard she's not good.
Well,
Guess they won't find out.
I guess they'll never know.
Right, yeah.
So, so stuff like that. So
I heard she's not good live, man.
Hey, man, I don't know, man. I wouldn't know about that. But speaking of music, Brandy versus Monica is next week on the Versus.
Not really a big fan of either.
What?
I'm not really a big fan because I loved Brandy's. Man, what's the one that Dark Child did?
I mean, he did 8 out of the 10. I know you want to say.
Never say never. That was my ish. I was like, man, Brandy got some hits. Then I was like, then she never really brought me back.
Yeah, you wasn't a fan. That's why.
No, wanna be down.
That's the person.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Know Better, Do Better podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at No Podcast Crew. Follow us on Instagram at Know Better, Do Better podcast, and also on Facebook, Know Better, Do Better podcast. Peace.